allow the children to the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun live. Brethren, you are welcome to the Temple of Truth. Tonight, read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, share it. Like the broadcast as your offering. We will start in a minute. 40 trillion naira demand. Ransom. This is coming from the kidnappers who kidnapped 16 people in Kaduna just about a week ago.
Please,
if you are watching me on Facebook or YouTube, please let me know how the sound is, on your own device there, okay? Let me know if the music is coming out nice or it is still poor. The sound generally.
Baba Deure, and yes, right. Lijo Ibadi, and yes, right. Presido Barufio, and yes, right. And yes, right.
Thank you.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí fa. Ayé ẹ̀sùn láì. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Please share the broadcast.
Ayé ẹ̀sùn láì. Òwúrọ̀ olóṣèlú. Ayé ẹ̀sùn láì.
Eucelia Gabalai.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ayé ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Okay, Motide. Now, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun Live, of course, for those who are watching this on the hour live. So those of you who are going to be watching replay, it's still the same thing. You know what I mean? Now, the rider for tonight's broadcast is that of the news from one of the terrorists that kidnapped Nigerians last week. This particular group of terrorists kidnapped 16 people, okay, in a community called the Goningora in Kaduna. So what they did at first was they killed some of the people who resisted them, who resisted being kidnapped. They killed some, then kidnapped 16. Then afterward, others, who kidnapped their women in Borno, who kidnapped their school children in, the school children in Kaduna and all these places. So what we have now is that one of them has made a demand, or one of the terrorist groups, and the ridiculous demand has broken the internet this evening when they said for them to release the 16 people they kidnapped in Goningora, they will need 40 trillion naira ransom. Of course, it is ridiculous. I don't think anybody is going to give them a 40 trillion. Or you have seen those ragtag Fulani terrorists. You have seen many of them. We have seen them. And we know the multi-billion dollars, if you have to convert it, so to say, because it's like a trillion naira industry right now, kidnapping industry, terrorism industry, their sponsors, the system that allows them to move their money and all of that stuff. Everything is like a huge industry in Nigeria now. But we believe that the terrorists that you see, all those dirty ragtag looking terrorists, those are just their guns. Their sponsor who actually collect this money, they are those mostly you call your your leaders. So 16 trillion for 16 people. 40 trillion rather for 16 people. Eventually, they will ferry millions of naira, hundreds of millions of naira to these terrorists through the same government cover, public money. 40 trillion. You know, there is something about this act of terrorism in Nigeria that if you are one of those who probably don't see it yet, you may not understand or yet realize the level of danger that you have been existing in, okay? Nigeria's national debt is put at somewhere around 130 trillion naira. But officially, they put it around 100 trillion. Now, if terrorists could sit together and make a demand of a 40 trillion, it's going to be like a bargain. You get that now? So the the terror sponsor within the system who are possibly going to process all this money eventually, right? They know they won't get that. I mean, they won't get 40 trillion. That's not the goal. Okay. We currently have over 800 women and children in the hands of the terrorists. But Nigeria is a place where, just so you know, Nigeria is a place that spends almost 1/3 of our national budget on security. And in this case, right, Nigeria, that invested so much in security, including spying on their own citizens. They have collected data, most of the data that are meant to provide national security. They are now being used just to provide private security for the highest bidder, starting with the criminal politicians in government in Nigeria. So they will use the instruments of government to spy on their citizens, monitor them. Even if you think you are anonymous, the Nigerian security system is capable of tracking anyone, not just in Nigeria, all over the world. But since this APC, Egbekegbe, came in, tracking terrorists became impossible. Terrorists in Nigeria, they are using phones, they are making videos, they are making calls. Baba, terrorists in Nigeria are transferring money, depositing money in bank. Okay? But every Nigerian is believed that you cannot really do some of these things. You can't have a phone number without you registering or giving your biometric in Nigeria. That's what their normal thing says, like normal people. Okay? So which means every SIM card or every line is linked to someone because they are BVN, which is also like biometric too. What do you call that one? BVN or BNIN? I don't know. They link that. This is also like linking your personal details in the National Archive, linking that to your SIM card. If you make calls, the only way you cannot be tracked in Nigeria is never to turn on a phone. But terrorists in Nigeria, they make calls. The police, the DSS, and the rest of all those security guys that were supposed to be providing security for you, preventing crimes, preventing terrorism, they are more interested in what you are saying about Ifnumbu or about Nigeria economy. In fact, they are more interested in what you are saying about security than they are interested in actually chasing the terrorists. Not that they don't have the resources. This guy spent over 4 billion naira Nigeria money. I remember that. Just to be able to crack, is that the right word? To crack your WhatsApp messages. Normally they will tell you that WhatsApp messages, they are end-to-end encryption, Abi. They are the messages that cannot be hacked. Nigerian government, like other governments all over the world, they have the equipment, they have what it takes to breaking into your, and they did all of this. Ironically, when it's a pandemic, the Boko Haram sympathizer, a jihadist inside Boko Haram's government, was made Minister for Communication. I've been a Minister of Communication. So Minister of Communication was a jihadist, a Boko Haram sympathizer, who just had the opportunity of supervising or collecting the data or details of every one of you Nigerian, including those of you who are abroad. They collected my own information too because I wanted their passport, right? So I had to do NIN or something. So they had to take my biometric, they had to take all of that and all my details. You know, they were given to ISA pandemic. Do you see why I would never forgive? Boko Haram is a terror group. Every one of you who don't go to that Nigeria place to do any confirmation or verification, they handed all of our information to a terrorist. It's a pandemic. ISA pandemic was able to track everyone saying something, whether you are in abroad or you are in Nigeria, or wherever you are, they were able to track everyone saying something about Boko Haram or trying to organize a protest or trying to organize a meeting. Anything you are doing anywhere, even with your fake name, they will track you down because the person tracking you is the person who is not loyal to the country, but loyal to the terrorist that they have set on us. They are set after us. They were telling us that our reaction is going to cause division. Our reaction is going to cause hatred against the Fulani. We are reacting to the killings of our loved ones, our people. And they said, oh, your reaction is going to divide Nigeria. All of you you need to be very careful. You cannot say they are Fulani, just call them bandits. We refuse to call terrorists bandits, we call them Fulani terrorists. So that was a crime. So our information was in the hand of a terrorist who was monitoring all of us everywhere. Rather than for terrorists to become the people of interest to the government of Nigeria, all of us complaining, raising alarm, we became the real threat to a terrorist government that today is on record, destroyed Nigeria beyond any recovery. You will never recover from this, I promise you. We are not coming back from this. So under them, terrorism became an industry. Terrorists were moving about. When COVID came, they were transporting terrorists to all parts of southern Nigeria under the cover of COVID, no movement. After that, 2021, 2022, the killings skyrocketed. And the people were supposed to keep us safe, our loved ones safe, from these Islamic jihadists, Islamic terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram and the rest of them. They took side. They decided, they told us that our life or our lands, they did everything to try to use the law to gag the people. They are even so impatient to make their law that will make them, allow them to jail you for screaming for help that you are about to be killed. So they didn't wait for any law before they started clamping down on people on trumped up charges, while the terrorists were spreading and spreading into the deeper southern heartland of Nigeria. And then it became obvious that they are going nowhere as long as these terrorists in charge have finally established them. They disarmed the citizens, yet the entire structure, security structure that was supposed to prevent most of this, they have channeled them into protecting the criminal politicians, your criminal politicians. And we are watching all of that, right? So the terrorists have now grown so big and confident that if na royal father they won't kill, they will kill you. You'll be lucky if they kidnap you. So it's pretty much like you are on your own, everybody's on their own. And here we are, where you have a Koolu, the Jaga Bandits, the Jaga Addicts, the one that took over from Boko Haram. And as the whole thing seems to be going, right now, it can be like saying from frying pan to fire for Nigerians. Because as it is, Bokuwari, the praise singers of Bokuwari, those who praised Bokuwari for 8 years, some of them have now transformed to those who are now telling you that Bokuwari call failed and Tifnumbu is trying to fix that. Over 800 people are currently missing. But it's pretty much like business as usual. Everybody just continues. Yeah, everyone continues. So terrorists making demand in Nigeria is because they are comfortable. Yes, they will make demands, they will make phone calls, they will do all of that because nobody is really looking for them. Nobody is looking for them. And they know that nobody is looking for them. So the only thing is for you to just try and make sure you don't end up in their captivity. Because you see what you are watching right now. You can see the entire place. Everyone just seems to move on. They've moved on. Until you hear the news again tomorrow. Okay? Oh, they've kidnapped another set of people and killed them. Oh, they have killed people again. Let's move on. How much is Naira to dollar today? Or how much is Naira to pounds today? People move on, right? So Koolu was, I think, is in Minna, in Niger State, where he went to go and commission tractors. Here is the story behind that one. You see, I showed you the clips of that Bago guy, the Niger State governor. I show you the clips and images of, the recent order of purchases of tractors, farm tools. That he said their plan was to sort of, cultivate 1 million hectares of land and distribute the land portion by portion to interested farmers in the state. A very good initiative. Tifnumbu, who have nothing to really show other than the hardship brought by his policies. If anybody tells you that the reason why you are going through what you are going through in Nigeria right now was because of what Bokuwari did alone, they are lying to you. And if you believe them, you will join them and blame Bokuwari for the next 8 years. That is if you last that long. Okay? Tifnumbu's policies, especially in the last 10 months, has destroyed Nigeria far worse than the destruction that Bokuwari has brought upon you. And this is not even like an exaggeration. Okay? All it would have taken Tifnumbu to help you from the calamity, the destruction that APC, Egbekegbe, represented under Bokuwari, was just for Tifnumbu to just flog all the loopholes, all the wastages, just plug them, all right, for just maybe 6 months, minimum of 6 months. For example, all the lootings that took place in the last 6 months of Bokuwari, you would have a chance of still getting them back to start with. Then you see all those ones, the hyenas, the jackals, who are already the vultures, who are already hovering around him, waiting for appointments, waiting for their own time to butcher. People like Beta Edu, what's that guy's name? Olubumi Ojo, and the rest of them that they've actually listed. People like that who are already waiting for their turn, even though they told you that they are going to be different, fucking man. Anyway, so plugging it means that you just use the first, what do you call it? Your first 6 months, you use that to first block every loopholes that gives people the access to continue to loot, because that's what they do in that place every day. Whenever there is money around, they have an idea of knowing, and it's going to be gone in a few hours. So that gives you a little bit of edge. And when you want to make appointments, this time around, you will leave all those praise singers, ass lickers, all those ones that are prostrating, calling you daddy, daddy, father, their Lord and Savior. No. You bring the real people who have something to offer. Those who are coming in, who see it as a job and not something as a favor. Because everybody where they with Tifunubu right now, favor. If they do them favor, it's their daddy. If you see any of them stealing, they will go and you have to go and report to daddy. If daddy says, forget that, it's all lies, like Bokwari did. Remember that time of Babasholawa? And then afterward. So when you have people who believe that they whatever they do, they owe it to him and not to any of you. So the floodgate of stealing, completely, became wide open. So you see, they might be telling you something, but what they are doing, when you look at them, it is the same playbook of Bokwari. Economy, security, or whatever it is, the same playbook. Then when it now comes to, showing concern, empathy, and all that, you go ask Taya. Because what they have managed to entrench as a precedent in Nigeria now is that Bokwari, what he did was even if they kill 1 million people, pretend that you don't know. Because if you don't say something, people will not quote you. It is one cold-hearted dictatorial mindset where they appear as your leaders, but they do not give a damn about you. Do you understand that now? So, and if they don't say something, let's say, they kidnap 800 people. Imagine if the media, if that's like the UK Prime Minister or American President, that over 800 women and children, Americans, have been kidnapped. They don't hold their president. The president would have, every media will be asking questions from that, and the president will be having to talk, Abi. And whatever he says is what everybody is going to begin to quote. Oh, he said this. Oh, he said that. And if he failed to say something, that could be him and his job. But in Nigeria, they know that they do not give a damn about you. We are going to look for them. All the security agents are looking for them. They will work out and nobody is looking for them. The only contact they are making is, boys, listen. What happened is that in another 1 week, they are going to offer you so amount of money. Take it and let those people go. Do you understand that now? But for now, continue to hold them. So why this is behind and the people are there as the pawn on their chess table, because that's who we are to them, okay? We are just statistics, we're just numbers, okay? They can use us to play their dirty, bloody political games, you know that? So then, since he has nothing to say, so he would rather not say anything, even if the rest of you are, even if the whole country is erupting. If he didn't say something, you can't quote him. Because if he says something, he's probably going to sort of expose himself enough to say, oh, God damn it, man. So say nothing. Oh, how about this economy? Media, can we have a chat with him and ask him questions of what he's doing about the economy? No. They will send you information minister to go and tell you about economy. Or bring a Dele Alakori and say he should come and talk to you about security. Since the person that you probably believe is your president, since he won't say anything, you can't quote him. Unfortunately. But he wasn't in Minna. He is still in Minna, where he went to commission tractors. Listen, There's so much problems when it comes to agriculture in Nigeria. Okay, people can grow their own food, but with the level of insecurity caused by people asking for these billions, trillion naira ransom, so more than 70%, farmers in Nigeria, including their farms, they have been compromised, either destroyed, killed, or totally decimated. Now, that is a problem. We've had people, okay, who have seen an opportunity, okay, in the food sector, agricultural sector in Nigeria. Some of you are watching me here that have put your resources, your finances, including, money that you borrowed, loans that you invested in agriculture in Nigeria, that you invested in poultry business, fishery business, and all of this. And especially for those who have actually invested on farming, we've had a lot of people who have actually lost their lives or lost the entire investment in total debt today. Evidence is there. Nobody is actually, there's no section of Nigeria, there's no section of Nigerian government that is addressing that. You understand? To say, oh, since Nigeria is battling with food production, food inflation rather, hyperinflation. So it has gotten to a stage whereby food are so expensive in Nigeria that people can't afford it. Now, even if food begin to become cheaper in Nigeria, people still can't afford it. Do you even understand what that hyperinflation means, right? The value of the money and what that money will get them out there, even if you break down the price of food, people still can't buy or be able to afford. And that's a problem. Abi? But we've had people who invested in all of this and they have lost all their investments. I have not seen anywhere that they will say government, as an agency, this agency looks into the losses of people who have invested in farming or who lost their lives, so that you can have data of all of this. And as a government that want to end hunger, you can easily go and tackle the problems at the places where people are where people are losing everything. They know this. They do. Niger State suffered greatly since this terrorism started. The effect of it has eaten deep to the people of Niger themselves. That even though, despite that, the fraction of their, planting and harvesting and all that, farming in that part of Nigeria has reduced so much that the little that is left, or the few that still manage to farm in that part of Nigeria, wherever they sort of grow today, people can't even afford to buy them. Their governor said nobody should come to their state and buy food in bulk. People used to go to the place, they'll buy bulk food and they'll take them elsewhere to sell from the farms. So their governor said, okay, they can no longer afford to sell their food to outsiders anymore. Outsiders are the same Nigerians, in the same Nigeria. So therefore, they put kind of placed embargo on food, buying food in truck in the state. But yet, people still can't feed themselves. They cannot afford to buy the food they are growing in that same Niger State. But the guy, looking beyond all of this, let's say, okay, yeah, maybe Tifnumbu has promised to provide security for the farmers in Babangida and Abdul Salami states, Niger states. I don't know. I don't see that, okay? However, something happened last week. What is it they call it? Now, leadership newspaper, been at the Sun. One of those newspapers, in Abuja, named Peter Obi as their politician of the year. So naming, what do you call it? Naming, somebody said he's from the north, and that I am lying. I like that. That you are from the north, and a farmer from the north. Okay, it would be ideal if you do have a number to say, oh, there are so much farming coming from Niger State that the food is actually wasting. Okay, half of Niger State, where people are farming, majority of them are already paying taxes to terrorists. Oh, I am lying here. Some of you should pick up your phone now and check on farmers paying taxes to terrorists. How much farmers are paying to taxes in Niger State? Say farmers where they pay taxes to terrorists in Niger State. Now government they harvest them. Anyway, my eyes just caught that. So we've had people. So this guy last week, prior to this, he was displaying he called himself a farmer governor, something like that, or some chief farmer, something. So then he actually invested enough in procuring tractors and other farm tools. Like I told you, the plan was to cultivate the land and let people go on them and farm, which is not different from what Emefiole, African Development Bank, additional, with the authorization of a Bokuwari, is not different from what they did when they took over 4 trillion naira loan from the African Development Bank to give to farmers. Over 80% of that money goes to farmers in northern Nigeria. The entire investment entered zero. Oh, you wait talk say the lie. Nigeria lost over 4 trillion. You remember the rice pyramid in Abuja? The money was borrowed from the African Development Bank for farmers in northern Nigeria. The farmers collected the money. When it was time for them to harvest, terrorists took over most of the farms. Some of the farmers were killed. Nigeria lost money. In order to cover their shame, they had to what? They had to bring a sawdust sandbag to Abuja as rice pyramid. So back to it, just touching on insecurity. It's not different. However, last week, when they said that Ukraine gave Nigeria 25,000 tons of grains because Nigerians are dying, northerners, who are supposed to be growing food, okay, they were dying of hunger, starving. So when Ukraine donated the food, it became news in Nigeria. So what happened? People reacted. And when the leadership newspaper, wherever they are, called Peter Obi the politician of the year, okay, so Obi now said it's a shame, a national shame, that Nigeria has resorted into kind of begging for food from a war-torn country, Ukraine, Abba. So it became talk. That Bago was there. So the Bago guy now said, Obi was right. It's a shame that Niger State alone can actually feed not just Nigeria, it can feed Africa with the amount, with the land mass that they have. If insecurity is abated or sort of, people could go back to their farms and support comes from government and all that stuff like it should. So that is a shame. Something must be done. The guy is already called farmer governor. So he was already like ordering for tractors and all of that he was going to give to farmers. All right. So then he said Obi was right. A day, 24 hours after that. Sorry, you may not see this picture if you're watching me on TikTok, by the way. 24 hours after that, they summoned him to Tifnumbu's office in Asol Rock. So when he got into Tifnumbu's office in Asol Rock, I don't know what they told him. The guy pretty much like, And for some reason, the people that posted the image, they were actually the Tifnumbu's people. So Tifnumbu's people posted this and they said, now who is your daddy now? I don't know if you have seen the picture. You watching me on TikTok, there's a picture of where Bago was like this, a slave, like a slave that came to the... So, but they said, but his daddy, this is a state governor. Do you understand me now? a state governor. But it is Nigeria where they are practicing feudalism, feudal system of government, okay? Slave master stuff, you understand? So, Tifnumbu people now posted that picture the following day, okay, to say, now who is your daddy now? That is to show that who is the boss now? See him here bowing down for the real boss. I think that was when they now decided, you don't offend Tifnumbu. How dare you go and say everybody listens to you? Because what he said was that we all hear you. Everybody hears you. Everybody heard you, my Mr. Obi. And we will do something, And I promise you that I will deliver. He was promising Obi, so Bago became very angry when the internet reacted to that photo. That guy that was all nicey, it was like all mad. And immediately, he issued a statement that everybody who saw that image, using that image to mock him, they lack respect for elders. They lack this or that. In fact, he now supports the social media regulation. Made the Tinubu government do something about social media. Say, weary. I want many dictators. I want little Hitler, sabi. Anyway, they can't try to find means of pacifying Tifnumbu. They now said Tifnumbu should come to Niger State to come and commission tractors. Or more tractors. See achievements. Somebody ordered tractors. And therefore, the president of the country is commissioning tractors that will now produce food for the whole country. How great thy heart. How great thy heart. How great thy heart. A joke of a country. So, but at least to the typical Nigerians, at least they are doing something. There is something to show for it. Maiyegun, of course, there is something to show for it. Okay, as long as it ends on Gabi, kind of end on Gabi, I'll be happy. I'll be happy for you. Okay, but when I see the sort of the mockery and the show off about all of this, and I know what the end goal is, sometimes I'm just going to sound like the bearer of bad news, because I am not somebody who lives on wishes. Here you get now. Like wishes. Like, why don't you just wish them well? It's not by wishes. I just gave you the factual evidence of the state of things in that place. So they show all of this. They are doing all of that to placate Tifnumbu. And the guy would do anything. It's not that he's kind of doing anything to change anybody's life in that place per se. Do you understand how feudalist system works? If you go to some of these northern states, they themselves, you will see them. They do construct roads to nowhere. Okay, you will see them. They could mount serious real blocks up here and there that really does nothing. But when it comes to investing in the real people, human capital sort of investment or development, no. They would rather give handouts to the majority of their citizens. And this is also a fact. It's a great thing. Every governor that shares a bag of rice, bag of food, Ramadan don't come now. You go to see all of them everywhere. They will be sponsoring free food, free this. That is governance. That is enough. I know some of them are watching me right now and they'll be like, is that not? Anyway, I'm not disputing it, okay? I'm just saying that you would want something that actually make the real impact, reduce poverty, reduce unemployment, in real development. But that's not what you get. Year in, year out, rather than the poverty to abate, the northern Nigeria still hold more than 70% of the poverty basket of Nigeria. So if you want to come here and come and use your useless ignorance, what do you call it, your northern exposure to come and defend your criminal leaders, you won't be the first. Do you understand? But here is the fact. The criminals in northern Nigeria would love to put up, show up like this. We all know where it all ended. It has never improved your poverty. It has never improved your unemployment. It has never improved your insecurity. Rather, it has contaminated the rest of the country. Now we are all dealing with terrorism. We are all dealing with food inflation. We're now all dealing with all of these, who are mostly spillover from that northern contraption of the entire contraption called Nigeria. So don't take it personally, okay? There's nothing to make you feel better or something feel bad in this. So it hasn't improved anything. It hasn't. I would love to see it. Here you get. And wishing will not make that happen. So it is like what Yoruba called Erokon Ikunile Engbi Epasi. I have seen it before. It is not bad belly. It is not act of not wishing Nigeria well. See, if not wishing Nigeria well is the problem. How about you where they wish Nigeria well? Your wish no they work. Let's assume say, because I am saying this truth to you, that means I don't wish Nigeria well. What about you? Should be you. Should be you they wish Nigeria well. What happened to your wish? Your wish they work. Your wish not strong enough to make Nigeria better. It's not about wishes. It is, you can't run away from facts. There is nothing you will be able to do successfully in the atmosphere of insecurity. Now, insecurity that is state-sponsored insecurity, state-sponsored terrorism, if it is still there flourishing, flourishing and growing. You see all of these pictures you are seeing here, I have seen them before. I actually really thought it was going to work for them. Yeah, I have seen them before. Good luck, Egbere Jonathan built 11,000 classrooms, blocks of classrooms across the Sharia North. And they were supposed to be the Sharia schools. Jonathan was taking their children off the streets. His own education policy was that those children who are Limajiri going to Madaras and all that, to go and study Koolu and all that, and then they ended up not being useful to anybody. They are useless to the society. They are now those that are being recruited for most of this terrorism. Some of them will manage go school self. Now pants that they wear bomb, where they go bomb another place. You see that? So Jonathan came and he brought this idea of the mixture of Islamic and Western education, and he built 11,000. Baba, Bukwari came. All those classrooms are gone now. All of them overgrown with weed. They are not interested. Now Nigeria went to take a 4 trillion naira loan. Under Bukwari, they called it Anchor Borrowers Program. You think say we don't know? Anchor Borrowers Program. 80% of it was invested in the North. They barely see 5% of that money. All gone. All the farms. Then the World Bank came. World Bank, World Food Program, World Bank program. Over 10 billion naira was also expended. Bukwari told them they should put everything in northern Nigeria. But instead of that, to reduce anything that will later come around. Today now we are battling with a Fulani terrorist in far away Ijebu. Waiting concern. Do you understand the distance between Ijebu and that place? So yeah. So it's not about wishes. Okay. So if you think it's about wishing them good or bad, is what runs a country. I promise you, some people are tired that their wishes for Nigeria to work is enough for Nigeria to work. But you cannot pretend not to see that you cannot develop anything in the atmosphere of insecurity. And I do not praise actors, because your criminal politicians in Nigeria, they are actors. They have enough to spend on, to waste like this. And then they will tell you to wish them well. So tomorrow when you read the news that their terrorists have attacked this farm or that farm, destroyed this, destroyed that, then they will ask you to pray for them. Then what will happen to those terrorists? They will be pardoned. Is that not what they do? Let's go to that Niger quickly, where Koolu was the chief, whatever, person we went there to inaugurate tractors and airports. So there's an airport in Niger State, Minna. So that guy, not only that Tifnumbu should come and commission tractors, so Tifnumbu's name was sort of placed on the airport. So the guy decided to repaint the airport, clean all the toilets, sweep all the floors, and then they put Tifnumbu names on it. Bola met Tifnumbu International Airport, Minna. All of this just to say sorry. Here. Okay, hang on. Let's hear from him at first. What Tifnumbu was coming to do? I think that's where we should start here.
The assembly of the machines are ongoing. So far, so good. And we're sure that before Mr. President comes here, a very significant number of these tractors will have been fully assembled. And all the machines. You can see here the pivot irrigation machine is already been put there for people to understand what it means. This is a 1,000 hectare land. We need to put in drip irrigation for greenhouses. This is going to be the biggest in Africa. So that it is an airport city free zone. It's a special agro processing zone in the airport where you would have fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh food living here to anywhere in Nigeria and abroad. And on this other flank of this, another 1,000, where you're going to have the dairy products, the meat and everything living here to the world. Is that, Niger State sells weekly an average of 500,000 cattle, to Nigeria, and outside Nigeria. So we want to now redirect it in a way that you don't need to transport, these cattle out of Niger State. You can take the meat that is frozen, and that is the way forward. And we are very ambitious to expand these 2,000 hectares of land around the airport to 10,000 hectares of land, because it's still a virgin land. For the infrastructure and the drawing, the designs, these are our partners coming in. We are bringing about 140 kilometers length of water irrigation to this place from Charade down. And these are the people that are doing it. So these are people, they are partners, we are partnering. They are from outside this country, as you can see, and they are ready for the work. We are bringing in 80 megawatt of power to this airport city project.
And coming here today to see the massive transformation that is ongoing at this place speaks volumes about the commitment of the administration in the states. The place was completely moribund. But if you go around the airport, you see that it can compete with the best airports in Africa, and that shows that the government...
I thought he was going to say in the world. Anyway, I have seen ambition, and I want them to. I want to see them to fruition. Okay, that is just somebody using an occasion to say what he's going to do or what he intends to achieve. They're going to build irrigation system. Irrigation system will provide water. In fact, he says something about ranching too. Those are lofty ideas, Abi, that you would love to see them happen. If truly, weekly, Niger State alone is supplying the rest of Nigeria with 500,000 cows, which is not true. Yeah, that one is not true. But again, he's a politician and he's sounding ambitious. Yeah, we're going to, for now, they have only graded 1,000 acres. You saw those tractors ahead. So if they build irrigation system, for example, that one will reduce what they usually blame, climate change that is causing, that is causing a drought or dryness in northern Nigeria, okay? So that will end it. Now, if Niger, which happen to be one of the biggest states, by the way, with landmass and all that too. So if they have system that will actually, that what you saw at the airport there, now just demo, that's not irrigation. They just display that. They said they want to show their people how that work, which means they haven't really constructed the irrigation system. So they are waiting at pick up and they tell you now, let's start. Don't be saying Tinubu they go there to do anything that is going to change or touch anybody's life. So it is still we will idea. Or you can see tractors. You can see the land they have graded. Abi? That's to show you that they somehow, to some extent, they are beginning to have what they need. So they are going to build ranches. They do not want people moving cows. That is good. So yeah, if Niger State can have ranches that, they're probably having them more than 10 million cows. Can they, anyway, 10 million cows. That will likely save other people down south. It will save a lot of farmers. So that means if we now see any cows crossing down to the, why am I even talking as if to say it's already happening? Anyways, if they do it. So then you're like, it should automatically reduce cows migration. Because that one is still a problem. We know that usually it all started with cows until it turned to AK-47 and bikes. Did you hear me? So that's something that you'll be like, okay, if they do it, that would be great too. When they took money for that rice, the pyramid rice, 4 trillion naira, their target was that they were going to see more than 400 million tons of rice. This rice will flood Nigeria markets. And finally, all this importation of rice, smuggling of rice will become a thing of history. By the time the terrorists were done with Nigeria no see 100 billion from the 4-point-something trillion they spent. And that is true. That is fact. You can go and Google that and check it out. Now, so without security, you can plan, you can wish. So for now, we can say we wish with them. But here is what Koolu had to say when he got there today.
We are in Minna to commission the agricultural machinery to enhance the irrigation, to put confirmation and truth to agro-processing economic zone that is being approved, and to equally partner with you to banish hunger. That's all. You are doing the job. You are walking the talks. And it is necessary for me to support you. It is mandatory as Nigerians. When you read paper, some of us are confused whether to abuse the present or the past or make excuses for the future. Not in my dictionary. Take action now. Do your best. Re-engineer the finances of the country and stay out on the right path. Those who may be complaining now, we have to understand only they persevered, and consistency can make a nation buoyant. The student loan program will commence. There will be unemployment benefit for our graduates. The Social Security program for the elderly and vulnerable will commence. We are fine-tuning all of that area. We are going to relieve people of hunger. And if all of you, I'm glad I'm facing Abdurrahman, have been paying the wages award pending the determination of new salary wages. Let all the subnationals start paying that. Let them. A wage award plus whatever they are taking now, and the wage award will relieve the public. Please, I'm not giving an order. I'm appealing to you subnationals. Lagos, are you doing it? You are beating your chest? And get everybody to do it. It's a relief to the people. They get used to it. Then the mechanism is the fact that it will not be inflationary. If we announce a new wages in a few weeks or months, they've gotten used to the basic 30,000 plus the wage award. So it has dampening effect on the market. Please, get some nationals together. And
nuisance lele. Nuisance.
Oh, but seriously, my jaws are like aching. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if this is going to probably, look so stupid on your screen that, what is so funny? Because I used to warn people, I would tell people and say, please, I'm going to play Koolu now. Please don't take him serious. Do not try to get serious listening to him, thinking he's going to say something that you might want to look up. No. I used to warn people. So I was just laughing there that some of you are just there like, what is he saying? What's he talking about? He said, for those of you who didn't understand, let me try to explain to you. He was there to commission tractors, and they just put his name on a repainted airport. And according to him, he believes that they are working hard, okay, to relieve you. Oh, I wanted to remember that is a word. Perseverance, persevere, that you should persevere, and they shall relieve you of hunger soon. So to now make it better, is there now calling on the governors to do something called, apart from a minimum wage. So, apart from the normal minimum wage, they should be giving you a wage. It's totally not there. he believes. Then even in his word, it's like they should pay those. They should try and give workers extra money, and it's going to help the society. But they should be careful of inflation. They should just make sure that that money they will give to people is not going to cause inflation. Okay. Then he said, student loan is coming. They are bringing it. Graduate allowance, all of you. We be graduates, we no get anything. They will be giving you allowance. Graduate allowance is coming. What else is coming? Arubos, elderly allowance, all the elderly people. They are fine-tuning the thing now, fine-tuning. Very soon we will relieve you of your hunger. That is a Koolu. And for Bokuwari, who probably felt relieved, or so probably still feels relieved that no be him una dey call again. And according to him, with what he has seen so far, that Koolu has done, in fact, he has done very, very well. Yes, a lot of you are complaining today. Things are hard, things are tough, expensive, this or that. But that Bokuwari in his life can still see somebody that is worse than him. He had to speak out. Here.
I thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. And I thought Tinubu has done very well. But Nigeria is so complex, you know, that really there isn't much anybody can do. I think
there is absolutely nothing anybody can do. Nigeria is so complex, according to Bokuwari, that everything you are seeing right now, Tinubu has done well. Omo, you dey see person wey worse pass you. Wetin you go talk? You will be like say, Omo, legend Tinubu you. In 10 months, you be legend you. I see Tuale, you, I respect you. And everybody is just there, screaming and shouting. Hungry, even power, and all of that stuff. But Baba, you are still there. Nobody don't tear you down. I want to Koolu. So, I mean, Bokuwari believes that Tinubu has done very well. Nigeria is a very complex place. People love to complain all the time. It's not as bad as things are, by the way. Nigerians are just people, just any small thing like this, complain. They cannot even just endure small thing. They will be crying and shouting. That is what Bokuwari said. Nigeria is a complex place. You will think say you are not doing something because people are saying you are not. It doesn't mean that you are not. You are doing great. They told me I didn't do anything, but I kept Nigeria naira at 700 naira to $1. Look at you in 10 months. It don't almost be 1,800 naira. They can't say you don't do anything. Baba, you do. They do well. You're doing fine. Giddy goni. Because if you are not, these people go down enter streets since 30. They'll go down pursue you. See, how many of you, they follow the development in Haiti? Right. The development in Haiti has snowballed into a serious breakdown of law and order. Their president ran away from the country. Yes. The country has been taken over by gangs, cannibals, or more people where they chop people. Have you seen that video where cannibals, they are eating people, they are eating corpses of people that are burning on the street, on the road? Haiti has collapsed, and there is no government there anymore until further notice. How that happened, though, and all of that, I'm not going to bore you with that. But it is just to give you the example of, say, whatever the structure of government there, their president was leading at the time, at the end of the day, when it got to a stage, the stronger forces took over and ended this reign. Abi? So if anybody says Koolu is this, is that, oh, it's they are Nigerians now, so that they complain. If true, things are what they say they are, forget it. Some of us will not be here now. We'll be running away now. And that is what I got from that message of Bukwari. So therefore, Tinubu is doing very, very well. And that is why in Minna, there is no single mention of all of those Nigerians kidnapped or those ones killed in Benue and other places. Tarabanko. He's not going to mention, since he won't say them, you can continue to make your own opinion on it or your own conclusion on it. To them, it won't change anything. It won't. And that is why the guy that raised the alarm that Nigeria, currently, Nigeria is implementing 2 budgets. There is one of them that they have almost 5 trillion naira added into it for projects that does not exist. And the guy was said to be lying. No, there's nothing like that. In fact, they are now calling for the guy's arrest. His own pals in the Senate are asking for his arrest, his probe, investigation, and all of that stuff. So the guy was like, no, I stand by what I said. Investigate me, do all you have to do, charge me to court. I have gone through this whole nonsense, and I realized that 3.7 trillion naira projects were included there. We didn't approve that. But they have been assigned as the budget that Tinubu signed. But these projects and the areas they said they are going to construct them at do not exist. Listen.
And I also said, in the course of our perusing the budget, which Onanuga seems to have dwelt on, I say we have established very reasonable doubt about 25 trillion so far has nexus in the budget. That means there is money, and then there is project, and then there is location. Money, project, location. But we are yet to ascertain 3 trillion of that budget. We have established the 3 trillion in the budget. We have not established its location and the place. The intention of the northern senators as regards to the budgetary allocation was to meet the Senate President with our findings and subsequently meet President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with our findings. So if one is questioning our desire to relate with Bola Tinubu, how will I say that the findings of the Northern Senator Forum will go to the Senate President and then to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President and Commander-in-Chief? And you could see, I switched off all my handsets this morning. I don't want any Northern Senator to come here. If it is a cross I have to carry, I'll carry it. I'm not afraid of anything. Anything. I believe in one God, and I believe power is transient. I'm not scared of any issue like suspension. I've been out of the Senate for 8 years. And people had to force me back. It's not an issue. Some of our friends were removed by tribunals. They're living their lives. If because I say what I will say, if because I said what I said, then I'll be suspended. So please be it. It will be an honor. And for me to be suspended by whatever body. The interview I had with BBC was never an interview for Northern Senators Forum. It was an interview for myself. I don't want people to castigate them. I want people to castigate me as a leader. I want to make sure that I shield. I want to make sure whatever happens, let it happen to me. And that's why I said, please, shut my phones. I will address the press on this matter. And I also said, in the course of our perusing the budget, which Onanuga seems to have dwelt on, I say we have established very reasonable doubt about 25 trillion so far has nexus.
That's the guy. His name is Abdul Ningi. He said he stands by his own assertion, okay? Like I told you yesterday, somebody like myself is still looking forward to those discoveries so that we can actually put them in the diary here. All right? According to him, they sense an infraction, and he raised concern on that with the intention that himself and his fellow senators that are now tagged the northern senators, they were going to meet with Akpabioli. Then they're going to meet with Tipnumbu to show what they have seen and all of that, so that makes you know that. But right inside the ass old rock, where Izibida, Bayo, Onofunuga, long throat, is already accusing them of sabotaging the government of Tipnumbu. I am still gathering something on that. That's why I didn't bring you details on that tonight. But it is already out there. Where Onofunuga has been accusing these northerners of trying to sabotage Tipnumbu's government. Okay? That they are doing everything to make sure that the insecurity continues. They are doing everything to make sure that the economic saboteur and all that continue. Economic sabotage continues. Bayo has been accusing them same way. The old man spent his entire existence creating and manufacturing bigoted hatred rhetorics against the Igbos simply because of election. It started now. And I know it's just a matter of time before he will start putting names beside all those dog whistle. And people like Onofunuga, they are serving their master. They are like loyal dogs. All they need is bone. Give them that bone and they will be busy. They will bite anybody you want them to bite. They do not have any mind of their own, so to say, no matter how deep they are. Onofunuga has now recruited young men and women that are also going to help them in this propaganda adventure. But like I said, I have said this many times too. I will say it again. There are so many of you, the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris. There are some of you who are so engrossed and somehow you are obsessed with the Igbos. And I told you, yes, they have made you gone mad, making you believe, okay, that as long as Tipnumbu want to survive politically, you, the sewage dweller, you must hate the Igbos till you die. I did tell you, you are wasting your energy on people who probably don't give a damn about you. Because they don't. Those ones will be your real ones. The ones that believe that you are actually slaves who never really see you as equal anyway. I'm talking about your CPC, APC, Egbekegbe, the jihadists in your hand, the Sharia North. They are your real one. Oh, you better start learning how to begin to kind of man up and be bold enough, because some of them, if they say, "Bam," some of you will just run away. But if you are just like that, that coward dog, once you hear any Aruno Abi Abdullahi Abi something, Yusa Yunus and other stuff, once that one say, bam, you not go run away, you not know if you see anything. And you were humbled slaves. But let the name appear to be Chikeni Abi Uche, Abi Chinedu, the one that is very popular. Chinedu. Now so una go they get hard on right there. And you begin to what? You begin to masturbate in public. As if to say, I mean, somebody is about to actually, take your life from you right there. And that person is an Igbo man. They call it Igbophobia, of course. Igbophobia. It's also what we call the Yoruba phobia. So when I'm talking to my people, it's because I know all the bigots. I know all those, the political, what do you call them? Those one with the political association, especially those who are with the APC, Egbekegbe. It's because I am a Yoruba man, and there are so many Yorubas like me that are not proud to call these Olori Brukus one of us. So when I am talking to them, all of them will get Yoruba phobia inside you. Don't come here and begin to feel like, hey, that's a Yoruba man. Yes, I said it too. Even me, I know that. Go, Shison, shut up your trashy mouth, okay? I'm talking to my own brother there. I want you, if you don't have any phobia for Yoruba in your own way too, I want you to say the same thing to that, your brother. Because you see all these messed up idiots, this ethnic jingoisti, all these tribal champions, local champions, majority of them, they are motivated by their political association. They do not speak for majority of us. They are actually an aberration, shame, that we just have to share a nationality with. And we do know them very well. In our case, it's becoming worse, to the point that this political madness, they are taking it even further, trying to now divide families, creating bloodline, to say this one is half blood, that one is not full blood, this one is Yoruba blood, this one is a mixed blood. So when I'm talking to them, please let me talk to them. That doesn't mean that if you are one of the bigots as an Igbo man or woman who has your own bias or prejudice against the Yorubas, that doesn't give you that muzzle to begin to now press your muzzle like lizard. You understand me? So let me talk to these Olori Brukus that are bringing shame to Yoruba land, simply because of the crumbs they are being promised by APC, Egbekegbe. The party that continue to impoverish them, destroy them, ruin whatever could make them what they should be. And what they have turned them to right now, they have become danger to, not just to those they have been made to hate, even themselves, to the point that they are hating themselves too. They are calling their fellow Yorubas names, Omoale, Omogba, Omoawo, when those who are dipping them in abject poverty continues. So they are bringing all this destruction to us too. They are destroying themselves and they are destroying Yoruba land, but they don't know. So all of now, where they do your Ronukus, Ronunazis, your Igbophobia, the one that you said you have sworn till you die, go do because you see the ones that are really problems, the ones that are going to really show now that in their own belief they are superior to you. you are just common infidels. They are just doing you favor. Now those ones go comfort if numbu. Now those ones you better they learn how to use your bigotry very well. You better you better begin to save your energy. Because now then you go need the energy in the next few months. Those who are going to use dog whistle to send you with dog whistle, telling you, like people like Onofunuga, they will let you know that the northern Muslim, now them they sabotage Tifnumbu, so that all of now where they waste your energy on Igbophobia, you better begin to put it together to look after those who are coming for you, because they will, or they are already coming for you. Do you understand that? So Onofunuga is already wetting the ground for that. The long throat man, 70 years old man. And the senator there, Ningi, said, this is not an attack on him. We are saying that some of our colleagues have inserted non-existing projects worth 3.7 trillion naira. And that is what Tifnubu is implementing. We've discovered that. That doesn't mean that we are coming for him. Of course, they are coming for him. They said they didn't share the appointment well. They have already started putting posters in Abuja, where they are already pointing fingers at El Rufaya. Maybe you all have been here when we continue to remind you that El Rufaya was the one pointed as the Northwest governor, not central governor, then she Northwest, I don't care. Kaduna governor is the governor that is sponsoring Boko Haram in Nigeria. El Rufaya is his name. It was there. It's not an hidden secret. I mean, it's an open secret. But do you know something? Even the APC, this Lagos Abobakus, they know. But since they are all members of Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akpa People's Congress, they would rather just die like it is a cult. Now they don't print posters now, putting posters in Abuja, telling everybody that El Rufaya is a suspect. El Rufaya is the one destabilizing the Tinubu's government. El Rufaya is the one going after some of these things, all this Burundi change that BDCs that make Nigerian naira to fall. El Rufaya is behind it. But I want to posters, posters there, Abuja, warning people, warning them of El Rufaya. El Rufaya, the same El Rufaya, their own El Rufaya. Because this El Rufaya don't tell everybody, say, Ingo contest 2023 APC ticket. Therefore, true or false, the Lagos Abobakus, they don't want that. So now better save your energy. Because as it is, maybe say the senator where they expose those who are stealing, who padded your budget, is not going to have his own share too from the padded budget. Or at least the fact that he's still saying if they want to suspend him, they should suspend him. If they want to arrest him, they should arrest him. If they want to charge him to court, they should do that now. But he will not have to stop letting people know. There are more. Then Tifnubu says something that the student loan is coming soon. Now they said this is the guy in charge of the Education Trust Fund in Nigeria. You know, the student loan was supposed to come in October 2022. 2023. Well, they changed that to December 2023. Then they changed it again to no date. Then in January 2024, they said, oh, it's going to kick off by the 10th of January. That's not long ago. Then the January 10th came. 20th came. January came to an end. By the 2nd of February, they came back again and said, no, it's going to start. We are doing everything by the 21st of February. The student loan will kick off. Ladies and gentlemen, 21st of February came. 29th of February came. If February enter 31st, it will come and pass and gone. But somebody was on Channels Television today. They call him the guy in charge of the Nigeria Education Trust Fund. Here is his explanation of why the student loan is here to come, but it's going to come.
A few things which I'd like you to clarify.
The opportunity to be funded through these loans all the way through their educational
So there's no
journey.
collateral.
There's no collateral. There are obviously some eligibility criteria, which is clearly spelled out in the law.
So that's another problem. The criteria is bring a civil servant who is so, bring a judge that is this, bring the requirement looks like encumbrance. That makes it more difficult if you're asking that indigent student should be able to have access, and you're asking them to bring all of these instruments for them to be able to get a facility. Those who think that is not genuine enough.
Okay, so again, let's go back to the fact that this is a loan. It's not a grant, it's a loan. And, you know, in as much as it's an interest-free loan and we're making it easy for people to access this loan, we still also have to remember that these are public funds. These funds belong to you and I and other people, and we have to disperse these funds responsibly. We have to ensure that those who we're giving the funds to, one, are using it for the right thing, and those are catered for by direct disbursements to tertiary institutions. But we also need to know that the people that are applying for these loans and are getting these loans actually are able to qualify for them by showing not so much collateral, but that they are bona fide members of society, people who are well-intentioned, and therefore there are certain criteria.
So the criteria have been criticized, and perhaps in tweaking the law, maybe the federal government will also be thinking, I mean, if people have all of these people around them, they wouldn't need these loans. So if you're asking them to bring a leg and an arm to salvage a broken leg, why do they need a loan if there is a proper leg in the first place? Sure. So the question is, are you thinking, if you want to make the lives of the average Nigerian better, or the indigent student better, are you trying as much as possible to make it easier for them?
Okay, so remember at the beginning of our conversation, I said that, this law is not perfect. To a large degree, we're going to need to see how it plays out, okay? But it's better than nothing. At the moment, we have a law introduced during the previous administration's tenure. Today, we've inherited something that we think is a good start. It's workable. As soon as we start to operate this, we are going to look at where we need to tweak it, what the uptake is. I can tell you today that, there are 1.2 million people in tertiary institutions, publicly owned tertiary institutions in Nigeria today. When applications come in, we could get 5 million applications. We simply don't know. There's pent-up demand for education in this country. And when that comes through, we're going to have to sift through.
One question. Do you believe that guy? And everything he said, do you? Like, do you give him the benefit of the doubt? Will you give him the benefit of the doubt? No. That's better. I thought you were going to say yes. I'll be like, oh my God, I have failed. So there's somebody on this platform that will believe anything that comes out of the mouth of these rogues. Even while they are talking, you could actually see through. You could see through the lies. You could see the lies through him. Nothing make any sense. Somebody is asking that you have to give a arm and a leg before you can even qualify to take the loan. Or if flippantly just kind of make it look, he said, no, you just need somebody that is known in the society just to acknowledge that you are so and so, make it look like that. This money is going to come from the public purse, and it's you and I's money. We need to make sure that none of everything is said there is part of what they said in their student loan, by the way. So do you want me to to remind you few? I will. To get a student loan, your entire household, the place you live, must not be earning anything more than 500,000 naira, which means you must be earning less than 500,000 naira. That's number one. You must be a student. Okay, yeah, you must be a student. And in your household, nobody must earn more than 500,000 naira in a year. Because every month, because some of you are like, that's good now because we know they earn more than 60,000 in my household. The total money where they come inside our house now just 100,000 naira in a month. Oh, qualify. You are not qualified. A year annually means, say now 12 months, 1 year. And if you divide that, if you divide the 500,000 naira by 12, now about 40,000 naira you go get to. Abi? Well, maybe not 40, maybe 45,000 naira a month. So that means you must be very, very, very poor that the entire household only make 45,000 naira in a month. Do you want to know the truth? Most of the families that earn that small, that little, they are in their millions, by the way. They know they go university. What they won't go do? Some of them know they even send their children to school at all at that stage. And I'm not kidding you. So it simply means you that is already paying 450,000 naira school fees. That means in your household, you are earning more than that. So number one, that may not qualify you. Or somebody is going to tell you, don't listen to Maiyegun. It's not that bad. Just go and pick up the form. I'm just saying that when they tell you, say you no qualify, you will need to drop off. Drop out of school. Kuku drop out. The letter to advise you after they deny you if they ever even open the portal for you to apply. So after they deny you, but why am I trying to make it easier for you? I am going to do it. So here is why we believe that there is nothing called student loan. It's all lies to make you feel like they are coming to help you. There is something called the National Education Trust Fund, ETF, in Nigeria. They usually get budgetary allocation too. And they carry out things like scholarships or renovation of educational facilities and all that. And you probably will see some of them in your localities. When I was growing up, you will see things like ETF, OG, SG, Ogun State Government /ETF /SUBEC, all those things, number 11103B. You remember all those things that they put on the wall when we went, in our schools then. They will say, this one is clinical project, SUBEC, ETF. They have that in Nigeria, granting a scholarship to Nigerians who applies. That is the guy in charge of that. That's the guy on your screen there. But the student loan that Bajabia Mole drafted, the essays, where you scale the part where your household is not earning more than 500,000 in a year, then you now go and look for level 14 civil servants in your area. Then you can look for the maybe bishop, reverend father, pastor, chief imam, people of that, okay? Or, so all of them will now sign, you'll get 2 of them as your shorty. So they will now sign that this 500,000 you want to collect, you will pay it back when you are graduate and you are working. So if you fail to pay it back, they would have to pay it back. And if they fail to pay it back, 2 of you will go to jail, or you will pay the fine of 500,000 naira minimum, or as the court decides. So these are part of the conditions. So when you now finish all of that, you now give it to your school's what do you call the guy in charge of your student registration in your schools again? So they will now approve your department head or something like that. So that one will now sign it to say you are indeed a student. That is when you will now submit it. So when you submit it, so people like that will now receive your application, like from everyone else. So they will now, they will now disburse money based on the availability of money. So from what Koolu said, when he suddenly dropped these student loan jargons, Koolu said the student loan will be funded with 1% of crude oil, money made from crude oil sale. Today, even Koolu don't know how much, how many, or what amount of crude oil Nigeria is selling in a day anymore. So therefore, you can't even ask them and say, in the last 6 months, how much of the 1% from the crude oil sale that Nigeria sold and collected the money, how much is that 1% now in 6 months? So that they should give you a figure, because that's the money that was supposed to fund the student loan. That's what Koolu said. But it's a lie. So the same Koolu had to kind of, when they were planning to borrow 800 billion naira for subsidy palliative. But may no be like say, ain't no plan for you. They gave he gave the National Assembly 240 billion naira. He gave his wife 51 billion naira. They gave Shitty Man 45 billion naira. He himself, Tifnumbu, and his office plus cars plus renovation, he himself is taking over 100 billion naira. This is just supplementary towards the end of last year. And then they promised that they will give you 8,000 naira to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. Abi, he gave the judiciary 47 billion naira. Of course. And the office of the NSA, Ribadu, 15 billion naira. All this money were deducted from the money they borrowed for subsidy palliative. And up to today, they are still working on the register of how to share the money to you. The subsidy people, where they wait for subsidy palliative. So in other may no be like say no good. They paid for a new yacht. 10 billion naira for a new yacht, presidential yacht. They no gonna be like say all of you where they do the greatest bagba, greatest gbogbo. You say, well, you manage this 5 billion, audio 5 billion for student loan. No. At the 5 billion, at the 10 billion, at the 800 billion, fishy. Una no go see. So she will now ask this guy, what is the highest money I can borrow as a student loan? Listen.
The opportunity to be funded.
A few things which I'd like you to clarify. So quick questions. What is the benchmark? What is the mark? How much, what is the maximum any student can get?
Okay, so at the moment, we're looking purely at state-owned tertiary institutions.
That's university owned by the federal government alone.
Well, we're going to roll this out in phases, but at the moment we're looking at state-owned, so federal government, state governments, and then perhaps latterly, I know the president has expressed the view that actually every Nigerian should be entitled to get a loan to study wherever they want to study in this country. This act will make provision for that, but we're going to roll it out in phases so that we can learn as we go along and we can actually get to the people who need it most in the early phases. So you're right. We'll start with the federal universities. You asked about the benchmark. So today, there is an average cost for a session at an institution. In certain places, it's 100,000. Other places, it's 150, 200,000. Really depends on the course that you're studying. If you're studying medicine, it's one rate. If you're studying social anthropology, it's another rate. Some of these courses are 5 years, some are 3 years. So, it varies. But the intention is to give applicants who are successful, whose low...
You believe him? I tell you, it is the job, but let me explain that to you. If you are a student in Nigeria watching me right now, among those who are currently battling the choice of dropping out of school or taking a year break so that you can go and work for money because of this recent tuition increase in Nigeria. We have seen protests everywhere. We have seen complaints everywhere. People's school fees were increased from 14,000 to 180,000, 25,000 to 270,000. Some have had theirs increased to over 500, 600,000. And indeed, in Nigeria, you have the federal schools. Okay? You have the state schools. And you also have the primary education, which is meant for the local governments. Because that's how they do it in Nigeria, where they have the sharing formula. So they have a sharing formula that every month, when they share their allocations, right, the federal government will take 55%. The state government will take 25%. Local government will have 20%. Even though the 20% and 25% for the state end up in the pocket of the governors of the states. So this money is meant to maintain that, okay? So when you make decisions like if federal government says, we want to increase the salaries, minimum wage, remember, they are saying so to those they pay, because they do not pay everybody in Nigeria. They pay those who are working for the federal parastatals, federal government, Abi. So when you now say we are increasing it, so the state will come and say, we only take 25% of this allocation. So we cannot afford that money that you want to pay your workers. So we will pay this. Okay? Then the local government will be like, no, we can't pay that much. Oh, we will pay this. So all of them, who are controlling these, these stages of government, the money that goes to them, any decision you make doesn't really cover all of them. But when you take any any policy, you make any policy decisions, it affects everybody. Whether you are federal government workers, so you go to the same market. Whether you are state government workers, so you go to the same market. Whether you are local government workers, so you will buy from the same markets like everyone else, okay? So when the idea of student loan came, the states were like, what is he talking about? Does that mean that the federal government of Tifnubu is going to pay for the education of our wards who are like studying in the state tertiary institutions? Of course, there was no plan for any student loan, no. Here you get. But may everybody just flow with time. That's what that matter. Yeah, vibes and inshallah. Vibes and inshallah. When it is time to ask critical questions, now Allah you defined. So, here Tifnumbu says student loan means everybody. No. But they will love the state to do it too. You state, we cannot pay minimum wage of 30,000. We need you to come and pay student loan for, They will just laugh and say, student loan, student loan. Well, may everybody shall believe, say, student loan, they come. How much money can they take? How much is the highest? Does that mean I can come and take my school fees every time, or sorry, every session, so that when I finish, I can pay everything up? That would be great. But where is the money? Look at this of Apoli in Kwara, who are also on the street because of this same issue. Hardship, cost of living crisis, this or that. But yet, it won't take long before you actually discover their lies, by the way. When they lie to you, just relax a minute or two. You're going to see the lie fall flat. Watch this one from AIT.
As hunger continues to bite harder across the country, especially within the low-income earners, some students and lecturers of Polytechnic in Ofa, Kwara State over the weekend took to the streets in their numbers in a peaceful rally, pleading with the federal and state governments to fulfill their campaign promises of urgent succor to Nigerians. According to the students and lecturers, addressing hunger and insecurity of lives and properties across the nation is a must for the political class as they make good their political campaign promises. Addressing journalists during the rally across the major roads in Offa metropolis, the lecturers noted that students no longer find it easy to assimilate when they are taught in class, being on empty stomach as a result of hunger and hike in the cost of transportation and other prices of commodities, which they say have skyrocketed.
There is hunger in the land. The prices of goods and services keep increasing day by day. Everyone is affected. Both we, the students, the lecturers, market women, everybody keep complaining. So we want to urge our government, we want to urge those in power. We believe in your administration. We know you are working. In various areas you are working. But please hasten it. This hunger wants to kill some people. The suffering in the land is too much.
Currently, the most threatening issues that everybody can really perceive is hunger in the land. There is high rate of poverty. In fact, when you are not well fed, it's difficult for you to really assimilate, and the transportation cost is very high. A lot of them even find it very difficult to get to the school because of cost of transportation. Some of them will have to trek about 5 miles before you come to school. You are already tired, so there is nothing a lecturer is trying to teach you that will get to your score.
The students also pleaded with the federal and state governments to urgently save them from hunger and kidnappers, insisting they deserve a better life.
We have cases of several kidnappings in the country, and we also have inflation. The price of everything in the markets now is very cost, and people can't even buy what they have with their own hard-earned money. And this is just to remind the government that we deserve a better tomorrow, a better change for everybody, for our children, for our lives. Even because we, as a student, we are also facing the issue of hardship because we can't even ask money from our parents at home.
Food now is already expensive. So now, like Gary, now we are buying it maybe 15 naira per cup before, or 13 naira. Now it's now 150 or 200. So please, we do not want this again.
The submission of both students and lecturers here is that a better Nigeria is achievable with the political willpower and sincere commitment from the political class. Oluf.
I can easily relate, but I do not have anything to add. I do not have anything to add to that report. I was just looking at the faces of the students that spoke at the end part of the video. And I was like, these students, right? I mean, the lady couldn't be probably more than 22, 23. And the young man that spoke last is probably maybe 22, 23 as well, max, or even probably younger. And look at the two of them. They were possibly born after 1999. 24 years ago, Nigeria changed from the military dictatorship to civilian dictatorship. And look at those children there. They are probably not born. They were not born in 1999. They were born after that. And in a space of 24 years, they have already joined the adventure of us screaming at camera, asking the government to think about tomorrow. This thing is too hard. Everything is expensive. Everything is very expensive. Government need to do something. And guess what? 24 years ago, their own parents, they were probably of that same age. Imagine you at 24. Your momsy is 48 or 49 or 50, and you are 24. That means your mom was just about 26 years old, 24 years ago, when she had you. She's probably lamenting as well. I mean, I can imagine what it was in 1999. In fact, the preceding year or years before 1999. Abacha, Abdul Salami, the coup, the this and you remember? But somehow, your papa, your mama, they felt so cool and said, well, democracy is coming. They were able to afford Indomie. 1999, 2000. A Indomie generation. Today, Yusuf don't join. They don't show you on TV. They don't show you on the screen. Where you are lamenting over hardship, economic problems. They need to do something. Things are in 24 years' time, your children will be on the screen saying the same thing those kids are saying. Cookie shake me. Ask your parents. For those of you who are lucky enough to still have them alive, ask them what were they doing 24 years ago. Remove 24 years from your age. You watching me right now, 24 years. Take it out of your age and tell me what is left. In 24 years' time. The children that they are just about to, you see, that's a belle where you go get this evening. That one that your wife or your girlfriend, that pregnancy that is going to happen this evening. In that contraption. Who have no idea that two of you are about to do something now that is about to bring somebody into this contraption. No? In 24 years' time, that meeting tonight, the result of that 24 years, the result of that meeting tonight, in 24 years' time, if Nigeria still exists, those children will be on the screen. This school fees is expensive. They should think about our future. What is all this, God save? This whole thing is too hard. It's too tough. Ask your parents where they were 24 years ago. Tell them what were those dreams. Talk to them. They are your parents. They are still there. Talk to them. Mommy, I have a question. Like 24 years ago, what were you doing? Where were you? Ask them. And then ask them, did you ever think Nigeria would get to this stage at all when you were younger, like 24 years ago, ma? Ask them. Let them, one-on-one. If possible, record their answer. Their sincere, honest answers. And I'm saying it to all of you too. Call your children and tell them what you were doing 24 years ago as a Nigerian. Okay? I was a little boy, so I wasn't doing anything per se. I was just waiting for what the world was going to throw at me. At me. But today, I have teenager kids. I have a teenage daughter. I have a teenager son. Yes. In the last 24 years, So when I saw those kids, I was like, God damn it, man. Their own children are also going to also rise that way and complain about the same thing that they are complaining about today. But they are not yet born. You haven't given birth to them yet. That's why we are saying, can you please join us to demand for the peaceful breakup of Nigeria. Break it up to save lives. Even if our own lives can be saved, we at least save the lives of all these innocent children that are going to be born into this. Your children. You see that future they are creating, that place they are creating. Our children won't survive. They won't. Reverend.
This holy season, wonderful opportunity to train ourselves in the life of holiness. discipline, prayer, charity. It is very sad that in our country, Nigeria, successive governments make us miss the previous ones. During the last administration, Nigerians thought we had seen the worst possible. Now we are beginning to feel that the worst, what we thought was the worst, was even very good. Every year, suffering and hardship increase. It is difficult now to know what else to tell Nigerians. Many people are being driven to crime and violence. As Christians, as God's children, we are invited through prayer and sacrifice to discipline ourselves. 1, don't give up. 2, don't, because things are hard, become a problem for others. No matter what you choose to do as your Lenten sacrifice this year, make sure at least that you will never deliberately cause another person more pain or hardship. People are suffering enough, already too much. Don't ever do anything that will cause another person more pain or hardship. Let that be part of your Lenten sacrifice. Let that be part of your training in this school of holiness. Affirm your faith in God. Let go of the material things, because we will all return to dust. And allow your brothers and sisters also to be able to smile. Make them smile with small gestures and signs of brotherly love. May your Lenten season be fruitful.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What shall I say?
Thank you,
I like that message. You see, where you have poverty, absolute crime increase will also be present. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. And yet, educated people are acting that they are surprised that crime is increasing in Nigeria. You go see, they say, you know, everybody get down, get down, get down. Your boy, hey, get down. Hey, Jesus, help. They say, give your phone, your money, give that. They say, the following day they will go to church and they will do Thanksgiving. They say, Ewa ba mi gbe gba ọpẹ́ o. Yeah. Nítorí pé they will be thanking God that they were robbed by armed robbers and not kidnappers. You see where people they do Thanksgiving. You go see, somebody said that, and it has never left me like, they run away from kidnappers. Which you? Don't say all the witch need is just to look at the mirror and say, well, you are dead with that. If you remember all these Nollywood movies, right? Let's do like this. Uche, the son of Emekus, appear. And then they will show you in their hand palm like that. Where you are there, doing your ozu. Or maybe you are playing with your kid or something. Say, so you, Uche, you are enjoying. I therefore take your enjoyment away. Some of us grew up believing that people have that power. You say, don't touch my head, though. Don't touch my head, though. Don't steal my destiny. They really touch our head for our house, so they really touch our head, not take my glory. Oh. They say, I don't collect money from you, it's just going to use your glory. Oh. All these kind of things that they told us to be very careful of today. In that contraption, ladies and gentlemen, you will see people that will say, oh, if you give me 10 million naira, you can take my glory. The glory will not make me money. So the situation has gotten to a stage whereby abnormalities are normal. That's the point I'm trying to make for you there, that you will see people that will be doing Thanksgiving because they were robbed and not kidnapped. And you will see others that will come back and say they were kidnapped, but they thank God they were not killed because other people were killed right there. And they will be great. You know that stuff. I mean, who won't? It is what Nigeria has become. So crime everywhere. Papa carrying his own children, go sell them for 50. What do you think he's thinking? When a father agree with a mother, and in our context, from where we are from, a mother has this special bond with their children. Okay, that you can't take a child away from a mother. In Nigeria, a mother, they volunteer. Another one sold 2 kids, 2 of our own kids, sold them for 230,000 naira. And she went home, a woman. That one that is a man, that one sold his own son for 450,000 naira. His own son, he sold this one, that woman sold 2. They arrested them. And the question running through my head was that what was their expectation from those who they sold their children to? Crime. And that is why we say poverty is a really, really bad thing. And it has been weaponized in Nigeria, unfortunately. So when you have capacity to help, please help. I know that is something that some of you will probably say, no, Maiyegun, Maiyegun, we agreed. I know, but we're all humans, right? If you don't help, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. That's it. I would advise you to please help, because the situation has gotten so bad that to even enjoy what you have worked for yourself will soon become a taboo. You get that? Where you have to lock the entire house. You have to make sure that you also seal the entire door so that your neighbor will not smell that you are cooking. You know that life? Because the moment they smell, they will come to the door and say, you are cooking. So I open the door and you have to. The situation will get to that stage. I have seen people who have a stolen generator that is working. Yes, a generator is working. Everybody is in the room. We're watching TV. And before you know it, we just thought maybe in a fuel finish. We dey hear the generator sound. You know, when you hear your generator next to your window, making that sound, and then it just be like that. Because your generator don't cross street. You go first thing say na the light trip. We have witnessed people who have stolen a pot of soup, pot of stew on the stove, simply because they're just waiting for it to to steam, the soup to steam a bit together before they will go and serve the food. Another neighbor carried the entire pot. I've seen that happen many times, and they are true life stories. So when you have poverty everywhere, even you will get food, you are not safe. I hope you understand. Pretend I say you don't know, because when I talk like that, instead of you to agree, like you might go is true, all of them go begin to laugh, because you can also probably remember the scenarios that you yourself have witnessed. We are all from that place, aren't we? So I've seen enough. And that is why they will say, sometimes when you live in a face me, I slap you apartment, one of the things you must learn is never to leave your pot of soup on the stove. Go back to your room. Never to leave your pot of rice on your cooker. going back to your room, you may only be cooking for another family in the house. I've seen riots happen that way. So this is what they do. When poverty is weaponized, even you will get food. I promise you, you are not safe. So what is now the point? It's pretty much like everybody is done for anyway. So I was going to take calls, and I think I will still take calls. Do not forget where this started from. We are trying to gather 40 trillion naira for terrorists in Kaduna. Who go pay them? You. Or Kadobi. Oduduwa Emefiole. They just probably should just go and print the money and give them. Or, I don't know. I'll leave it at that, but I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea, okay? This may take longer because I have to work the all. But I will be back. If you are pretty much interested in phoning in to add your own contribution tonight, the number is on your screen, okay? So when I get back, we will take calls. But if you are leaving, like the broadcast, okay? Share it if you haven't done all of that before. And when I get back, I will take calls. Don't go anywhere yet. That took longer, but I mean, I had to. Thank you so much for your patience. For those who are still here, yes, the line is opened, and I do have my first caller. Okay, but I want to send a quick, a special thanks to Prayer Docent. Prayer Docent, I got your message as usual. Okay, but somehow, I always sort of forgot that I have to say thank you. I'm so sorry. Like that didn't even come out right. Okay, but I mean, I've always had it at the top of my mind that, okay, I'm going to say hello to a Prayer Docent. Then I just get drenched in the old talk that until after I'm going to, oh, no. Well, thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you. Here is my first caller, and I want to believe this is Elder Akinola. Is that you?
Yes, that's me, General.
Oh, yes, sir. Good evening to you. How are you, Baba?
Yeah, it's great to be here, and always want to thank you for what you are doing for the people and try to open their mind. In essence,
thank you so much.
What at times is always easy to confront the evil of the day, but when you look at Nigeria, I was listening to this song that Koolu released about 40 years ago, Which Way Nigeria. In fact, when you listen to that music, that song, you would think that it was released yesterday. The same problem we're facing right now, where the issue that guy sang about 40 years ago. And I you know, the listener today should go and just type it on YouTube. And the title is Which Way Nigeria by Sonny Okosu. The point I'm making, you made that point very clear in your discussion tonight. You know, I remember when my grandfather was being buried, and the message in one of the Anglican church was, now if Babangida did this, Baba is no longer concerned. It's this and that. It's now left for us and all that. Now we are here and we're looking at our children, you know, coming to complain the same thing that our grandfather complained about. Then the question is, same thing. So, and this is why at times it's difficult for people like us to be swayed by a lot of labaloo that they are doing in the politics in Nigeria. This is why I will never support it. Somebody who has been a politician before, under any disguise of any name, if you have been a Nigerian politician, you have operated in executive power or even legislators and all that, and you have not delivered any good for the people, to my judgment, I can never in any way advocate for you in essence. And this is why people like us will continue to back revolution now. There is something that happened was it today, when Omoyele Sowore was talking about Dati, as he was kneeling down in front of Tinubu and was like, oh, cool, whatever he was saying. I was like, look, this is the reality. That you and I may say that we disagree. You know, I was reading all the comments. People were dragging on Moyele Sowore. It was just showing respect. Respect, key them. When we see all these people that have meted hardship on our people, the way to show it is not when you kneel down and start to greet them, after you have threatened so hard on TV, this will happen, if this happen, this will happen, this happen, then you just kneel down there, and it will make it Tinubu to feel like
there's no correlation, so to say. You know, I get you.
That as if it's a god, in essence. You know, it's and these are the double talks that we see most time, and that's why people like us back the revolution now. And one thing I want to say again, I know there will be many people that want to talk tonight as well, so that I can give them time, is that we should never forget Deborah. We must continue to put our voice until that woman, that lady, get justice. She did nothing wrong. And there, the same bunch of Islamic jihadists, they are, who are telling us that the whole Nigeria, they have the audacity to go out and go and burn somebody, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, has refused to deal with those people. They promised, they did whatever. They cannot tell us. They don't know those people.
They do.
Those people are members.
They do know
they are
them.
in the same class.
Even people are asking, sir. A lot of people are asking for justice still. That we never stop talking about it. But there's something I need people to know, okay, or should keep reminding us, right? That Deborah didn't get justice. Is because the system wanted it to be so. The killers of that young lady, they were arrested. In fact, they were actually arrested eventually, sir. And you know what happened? They charged them to court. They did not charge them to court for killing Deborah. They charged them to court for public disturbance. And guess what, sir? Police that charged them to court never showed up in court. So it got to a thing whereby the judge was writing the police that, are you not going to come and present your case? Are you not going to come? Or, you know, we all know why they never showed up. Sure you get? Because they expect the judge to throw the case out. And that's exactly what happened. Those people were arrested. They weren't charged for murder. And the one they charged them for, it wasn't tried. So the court discharged them and acquit them. So if you and I is asking for justice for Deborah today, they will tell you that. And you know something, sir? The police never appeal it. They never appeal that judgment.
Yeah. And you want to tell me that a person like Kanu deserves to be in detention? When somebody that killed people, even look at, what is his name? Articuluta. Deleted the message on his Facebook saying that he didn't test against more or less voicing support for the people that killed Deborah. And some people in the southern Nigeria.
They were typing in Hausa, in those languages. They were telling him that he has betrayed Islam and they will show him. If he wants to be president in 2023, Abi, he should come back. He should come to them. He is denying them. Young people who did the work of Allah, the work that Atiku will never want to do. All these big men, all these young people did the work by killing an infidel. Atiku came out to condemn it. He quickly deleted it. We saw that too now.
And from Southern PDP, the Articulutas still voted for that man.
Where one day?
The man that could not stand up for Deborah. And he wants to be president of Nigeria. Enough is enough. I think it is either we ask for justice or they divide that country. I don't want to see myself in that type of country too. I don't want my children to be in that kind of country. It's enough. Enough is enough. People have to call it what it is. It's either we get justice or we divide our country so that we can get our secular country. We don't want Islamized Nigeria. So if that's what they want, they should have it for themselves.
Tomorrow, I'm going to do a program tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully, a lot of people will join us. I want to talk about, what do you call it? I want to talk about the supposed our reactions, okay, to those who are claiming to be Fulani Yoruba, Hausa Yoruba, or something like that, and they are openly derided Yorubas. What have you? They're like, I want to have a chat about that tomorrow. There are some stuffs I've actually sort of uprooted from it, and hopefully I can start it tomorrow. See, Elder, thank you so much. I got the picture that you were talking about, that one of Dati and Tifnubu inside the mosque. So they said because Tifnubu was seated on a chair, so he had to sort of below himself in order to be able to say hello, that it would have been... anyway, so... Akinola,
thank you very much.
That's the picture.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me take another one, sir. Here is another caller. So sorry that was a little bit skilled, back and forth of a thing. So I'm glad I've sorted it. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening, Maiyegun.
Oh, good evening, Baba. How are you today?
Very good. This is Sir Olu from London.
Sir Olu, you are back.
Yeah.
Baba,
how are you doing today?
I'm very well, sir.
Yeah.
You're surviving. Go on.
Yeah. Quickly. You said something about like people selling their kids, and I'll give you two stories. There was this where I used to live. I'll just this next what's it called? The next building. This guy was cooking. This is not. I'm talking many years ago. This guy was cooking. So he went outside trying to negotiate with the woman selling gari. He doesn't have money, but he have the soup. There was another person facing him. The guy has the gari, he's already done there, but he was inside with his own key, just looking. As the guy go outside, second time, still go negotiate that. By tomorrow, I will give you the money. They don't carry the pot of soup, you don't enter. Now the guy raise alarm, begin to check everywhere. I open the door. The balance eating.
The family that took the soup. Oh.
Yes, sir. The balance they were eating. And he looked at them, he looked at his pot. They told him, they said, you don't even have gari in the first place. Why don't you join us? And you take the rest of the soup away. That was many years ago.
Yeah, now that's like your own real life experience, and everybody will just be there like, okay, what's he going to do now?
When I was at the Polytechnic Ibadan, telling you 1999, 2000, somebody was cooking. We are Unity Hall. We used to cook at the corridor. This guy just came. This guy was cooking. I went to lie down inside with the stove, with everything. The thing went. The air went.
You will come out of your room and you'll be like that.
When that thing happened,
was I not cooking here?
Guy, when that thing happened, they were wondering how would somebody carry the stove and the and all those things.
With stove,
everything gone, with pots gone. After that, it happened again. So everybody, the revising means when they are cooking, you just see everybody will just bring out one of your notes. You just sit next to your.
You will be reading next to your own cooking.
Yes. These are not. This is not like yesterday or
years ago.
Years ago.
A lot of you who lived in that area, you've moved on in life. Abi?
Yeah.
Now you are now hearing that it's happening again.
So you just look at it and you picture it. That brings me to. Was there any time that was Nigeria actually good? That is, I don't like picking on other people's conversation, but when I hear people saying their father said they used to go to, when they were in university, they used to give them this, they used to give them that, and I look at the whole thing, holistically, which of even those free education that they were talking about was actually free? Look at it holistically. Which of the free education was actually free? Which of those buildings
that they say free education, they are talking about tuition now. We know it's only tuition. Just you don't pay. You
must have went to Unilag, went to anywhere. Ever since me, I knew. I went to lesson at this thing, offshore tutors, Abulioja. This in Unilag, they pay school fees. But all the time they tell you it's free. Where is it free? I've never had. There's nothing that is free. Which free education? Nobody telling you free education. Where? There's free education. People are still paying for exams. People are still paying for this. People are still paying for that.
You pay PT, yes. You pay that fee. You pay that fee. When they pack everything together, you'll be asking yourself, why don't they just call it school fees?
I challenge all those people that said during the Awolowo's time there was free education to come out and tell us whether they did not buy broom or take cutlass to school, or they don't have to take table or chair to school. And all of them that was shouting there was free education there. They should go back to those primary school they went in Lagos. What's it called? Mafoluku primary school, Ilupeju secondary school. They should show me all those Jakonde building. You know all those buildings that the fence will be almost at your height like this.
And then you have like shed with fence.
They should bring the pictures of those buildings if they are still standing. I studied geology. Before you build anything in this country, where you are in UK, you will do ground investigation first. You will go back to the history of the land use of that land. They have websites in this country that you can sit down at home and look at the what's it called? Where you I'm telling you
about the land. That's true.
Yeah. I did some work when I was for this thing. When they were doing there's a place called Vauxhall. They were doing the regeneration of all those areas, 9M, all those places. God, they've done a lot of industrial work there. They have to get the whole land remediation and scrape off the whole land and lay another type of soil on it. And this thing is not, if you do the ground investigation and the money doesn't come in, after 5 years, all those ground investigations that you people did, they have to do another one. Because as we are standing, the way we are getting old, the way we are breathing, is the same way the ground is moving as well. The same way the sea is reclaiming the whole floor every day. Now, if people, I want those people to come out and tell me that this was actually when they were going to those schools, they didn't pay anything. They didn't have to buy anything. They didn't have to take toilet roll to school. People that will make it so compulsory for them, their teacher will be selling what's it called? Granite for them. They have to buy. Their teacher will make bones and come and sell it for them. They have to buy. Let's even leave that one. The guy that those people that are asking for 40 trillion, if they have the knowledge that they can print the money, that's why they're asking for it. And this guy, Ajuri, he said, oh, no. They didn't say it's the northern people that were in charge, that was causing that they suspect. Yeah.
Sabotaging Tifnubu's government. I mean, yeah. So what did they say who?
It's come on Twitter that they never said so, but we all know.
But Nonuga, was going lyrical yesterday. Like, we know that some northern elements, including some northern senators, who are working and trying to sabotage the effort of the president by giving bad image. Blah, 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 blah.
Do you remember this guy, Shetima?
Yes.
When he came out publicly and was calling out Jonathan that when they kidnapped people, he went to Abuja, they never gave him audience and all those things.
Yeah.
This thing, these people, they know who these people are.
They do.
They know where they are doing these things. How can the federal government come out and say that this bandit, they have information that they want to strike in 14 states?
Yeah.
So you people have all this information.
So what are you going to do about it, or what are you doing? What are you going
to do about it? But if an ordinary person, now if an ordinary person gaslight anybody in government, like this guy, what's his name? Akpabio. Yeah, they say it's cyberbullying. Akpabio is just there, like he's waiting for,
about that guy, horrible past waiting. I even imagine, no man, no like
an attack. Yeah.
At the funeral, the video we played yesterday.
Yes, now.
That,
that guy.
You they call we don't die widow.
Yeah.
Say the widow is supposed to be here with us, but she's not here with us now. She's here with us, but she's lying there now. That they did not clap for him enough. The way they clap for Obi, is it because he's not a presidential candidate at the funeral, Baba? Saulu.
The guy, go and look at. Is he not the one that they did off the mic for? He was.
He's the same guy now. I see that off the mic stuff. That off the mic. They are talking about over 4.1 trillion naira stolen.
Where he even wanted to sleep. He even wanted to sleep with the woman. You remember the doctor? Remember that doctor that they put coke in his mouth? Where is he now? Is he dead or alive?
He's still working in NND. I mean, what's it? The Niger Delta Commission.
NDDC. I was reading something about him today.
He's still there. He's a senior colleague there.
Yeah.
He's a senior officer there.
Pondey.
His name is Pondey.
They
don't have to explain how the money gone missing.
Yeah.
And he started and he fainted. About honestly, man.
They don't talk ill about the dead though. Cairo, there was one Cairo Jodu or something. The guy that had that attack. I had that attack and died during Nigeria match.
And now, the one from Delta now.
Yeah, the guy that was sitting next to that guy that they were pouring coke in his mouth.
See, Baba. Saulu. Man, take another one, Thank you very much, Baba.
My brother, take care.
Good evening, okay?
Yeah,
nice one. See, Orodaija, and this is part of the reason why some of us will continue to remind them that, listen, we don't have a clue where you're having that belief from, okay, that Nigeria is going to still work. But we will continue to remind you of what it is than what you want it to be, or you do not have any capacity to actually make it happen. But you see these rogues, they have all of the capacity to get everybody destroyed. If you don't stop them, they will never stop. This is Prince Jejeman representing IPOB. For
life.
Prince,
Thank you,
how are
Baba. I'm fine, oh, Baba. My Chicano Mike, hello.
Thank you very much.
How you
I
doing?
hear you too. We are back
Well
here.
done, well
We are
done.
now trying to crowdfund. We need 40 trillion naira to pay terrorists. And some said maybe they should just go and print it.
Nah, wow. You know, yes, now money the central bank now. There's machine there to print money. You know, every kidnapper now will be running towards the north. You know, business, the business. 40 trillion. No be small thing, no, Baba. Hey. Now, wow, this one, they don't upgrade. They don't upgrade. You know, say Hamas don't join them now. Hamas don't join them now. So this one international
And
international racketing. International racketing now, you know. Hey, now Nigeria don't enter story.
40 trillion.
Nigeria don't enter story, Baba. You see this Air-5 Pekin now. Maybe you see her recently. You know, say that guy, your terrorism go pass in Papa. Oh no, that's
You don't see the hatred
Pekin.
all over him. You could, those who read people reactions and all of that, they could tell that he's actually going to be a very dangerous person. Very dangerous person. Unfortunately, right? He's been eased into their political arena. So yeah, if Nigeria is still Nigeria, those are part of the future terrorists that will have political power that our children will have to deal with. You know that?
Not true now, but this one, the terrorism there for a face, you know, for an action, everything. Those that I be talk saying go
useless boy, that boy. He's the same boy that will be threatening people that he will rape their mothers. He will rape this.
Exactly.
Any small thing, I will rape you. Your mothers are begging for my own this. You know, I've got a very nice car. Go and ask your sisters. Go and ask your mothers. Go and ask this or that. They love my this. They are begging for it. Son of a fire, but he's House of Representative member now from Kaduna.
He say he House of what? Representative? That one?
He's a lawmaker. You don't know?
I don't know.
Hey, Prince, how you take me, Sam?
Oh my God.
The boy now, House of Rep member, is one of those them cook for 2023 for them there now.
Now, wow, Jesus of Nazareth, lie. Hey, Baba. You know, say she would be asked some question now whether they do their interview. She will ask her, are you Fulani? You know, he's saying before Hausa Fulani.
Now he's saying be Hausa Fulani. Now wait till they tell those mugus.
They don't enter back into their cocoon now. They don't enter back. You say before when Buhari they all of them are Fulani. Now they don't run enter inside their cocoon. Say they be Hausa Fulani.
No Fulani.
Hausa Fulani. You know. Hey, but Maiyegun general. Maiyegun, you know the way they happen. We say.
Tell us.
This government, they are not ready for anything terrorism. You don't say you show us where they there for Minna there. No, out of all the whole their speech, no, they never talk about all the kidnapping, all the killing.
Nothing. And now, in the tell us hope they come. People when they talk to for that place, sorry, Prince. People when they talk to for that place, some of them they will kidnap them or kill them this week. You understand me now?
Bam.
Some of those where they inside that gathering, either not just stand by or so. You get when by the end of this week, is either they will be killed or kidnapped. You go hear the news from Niger.
Now no be lie because 40 trillion the other kidnapper warming up now to raise their own bar. See, Baba, you know when Turumbu enter, you know say them being get during Buhari time. All the whole terrorists that Saudi Arabia or UAE, they release all their names. Where we say the days are Nigeria government, especially all this from all those north. Till today, as Turumbu enter Bandits, they never talk about that list. Are you getting me? So how they want fight? Where the say one Yoruba Commodore. He come for the channel. He tell Nigeria and say that they should hit the center gravity. That the people who are sponsoring this people are the people to be hold accountable. Yes. First of all, before you start talking of people kidnapping in the bush. And till today, all the people, that man, they shot him down. Till today, they never talk about all the people who are the sponsors. I getting me? So you see that they are not ready to fight anything. Because this money that you see that these people that are asking of this trillion now, definitely you will know that people that are in government, they are going to cut their own share out of it. I getting me? Because and all the sponsors, if you look at that BBC investigation documentary, you see that these people that are collecting this 40 trillion, they are only on the mat. You can't even see a better house. It's hot. That's where they are living.
Nothing. And you'll be like, are they burying the money, or who are those coming in to take all the money from them? Because, man, they don't look like people who have collected trillions from Nigerians. So.
Generals in the army, all of them, now they share all this money. Whether they map out for security, they go share. Nigeria, made them divide Nigeria, releasing now the canons. Give us referendum. Let everybody, maybe Biafra go, Duduwa go. That's where we are. If they continue this thing, that's so that all everybody will go down.
There's something I want to show to the people, Papa. And I think you should be interested. You will be interested in it too, right, Prince?
Yes,
thank you
Papa.
So much. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, I will take another call, but before I do that, I'll show you something. Here, I saw this on the internet a few days ago, and I have been trying to see if I could see anything closer to it, so that I could possibly give that to all of us who have been asking, like, what is the way forward? Breaking up of Nigeria to what and what? But there's something I want you to know. In Nigeria, you have the ethnic nationalities. And within the ethnic nationalities, we have tribes. These are supposed to be the subgroup of people who share so much in common, language, culture, and the rest of that, right? And they live in the proximity of one another. So they believe that the closer you are and what you share together, you could be classed as, of this ethnic nationality. But that does not take away your identity. I am an Ijebu man, and I'm also a Yoruba man. So when it comes to the larger group of the body of a nation, I am a Yoruba man. But when it comes to the components, subgroups that will make up that space that you say a Yoruba nation, then I am from the tribes of Ijebus. Now with that, we have, for sharing things in common and all that, right? When they created states in Nigeria, they did not create states based on people sharing anything in common. No. They created states in Nigeria to further entrench and establish the divide and rule that will later serve the purpose of the rogues who have brought Nigeria to this state today. So here is something that people said. Number one, for anybody to even begin to even talk about, let us negotiate or let's have a conversation, people need to be allowed to be identified with their own ancestral land, not where you have the Igbos who are indigenous to their different lands. And therefore, when they started creating states, they started cutting some of these Igbos. They started cutting them off the space where should have been the majority of Igbos. as a region. So they use that politics to cut them off by seeing Igbos in Kogi, Igbos in Enugu, Igbos in Benue, Igbos in Bayelsa, Igbos in Portame Rivers, Igbos here, Igbos there, and you will see them to the point that they've made them minority. Same thing happened to where you will see the Yorubas, where you see some of those places where they have actually cut off Yoruba land and they call them North Central. Places like Kwara is a Yoruba land, but it has been pronounced and projected to be seen as part of Northern Nigeria. They call it North Central. They did not say South Central, but for political reasons, they put them there. But it's a Yoruba land, it's not Northern Nigeria. So if you have to kind of let everybody have their own representation in a contraption you call Nigeria, this is something the closest that you can have in place of the Fulani created state in Nigeria. You see, where you have the Kanuris, they can have their own space. And if they want to have their own country, of course they can. You see, where we put Hausa Fulani here, there are more and more other ethnic, tribes there, right? But this is where you will see the majority of them, where they call themselves the Hausa Fulani or Fulani Hausa. And you see all these areas. If you look at this map, you know where all these are as states. But by the time you begin to draw the map of all these states, you will realize that they have been cut off into different parts in a way to ensure that they arrive at a particular end result. And the end result is what you have today in Nigeria. So when you have people like this, or you can even like match people that share others together, like, see, the Yorubas. There are those who share something with the Yorubas. But like I said, this is not a map to say if you want Nigeria to go their separate ways and all that. That was how the Nigerians especially should appear. Not all those funny names. Akwa Ibom. Cross Rivers. River States. What other funny ones like that? There are actually people, indigenous people of those areas. That they could actually have their own representation. Are you with me now? This is the closest that you can get to anything at all that gives everyone their own identity. And if you want to have if they are talking about a federal system of government, that is how everybody should appear. And everybody should rule themselves. Rule yourselves at your own pace. And when you know that the person representing us here, they are this or that, you are not going to be a minority in a state that you did not create. None of us sat down together to actually have a referendum to create any state in Nigeria. So like I said, that's the closest. There are other means too, where everybody could, Nigeria has over 250, ethnic nationalities. Nigeria speaks over 500 languages. There are owners of those languages. But guess what? Like I said, in Yoruba land alone, where we say we are Yorubas, you have more than 100 languages in Yoruba land alone. With not languages per se, but you say diction or accent, an accent, or what do you call that again? That you say intonation. Something that you say, you are still speaking Yoruba, you are Yoruba, but there is a different twist or tone or tongue to it because of who you are, where you come from. And some said they are worried that some of these are bigger ethnic nationalities or tribes, they will swallow the rest. No, that's not how it works. When you share something in common, that means you have something in common. And when you are able to sort of, even if you run into your own problems, you'll be able to resolve them because there's something you share in common. And there will be no minority or majority in a country where people share same thing in common. I promise you, except the political majority and minority. But when it comes to your country, there will be no minority or majority. Hello there.
Hello, Baba Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Emmanuel Adebanjo. If you always remember, you can remember me when I say Baba 70. Baba 73. Baba 73. I'll be 73 March 21.
I remember you now, sir. Baba, thank you so much. How are you, sir? How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm always liaising with Princess on our program, so I never bother to call. This is my first time in calling about.
There's something I'm supposed to discuss with you personally, okay, sir? But they just haven't really, they haven't really made that happen. But we'll have Princess do something about that. Okay. You understand, sir? Thank you so much for all you
No
do.
problem.
Okay.
We thank God. We thank God.
Thank you, sir.
Now I decided to call now because of that young man that spoke before. What's the name of our musician? Who just spoke? The last speaker.
Yes,
the
I
last
wanted
speaker.
to remember the one that which way Nigeria Okosun. Yeah.
No, not that one.
Which one?
Oh, not that one. I'm not talking about Okosun. The last speaker.
Oh, my last caller, Prince Jejema.
Prince Jejema. That's right. I want to speak about the guy that spoke before Prince Jejema. That young man was talking about free education. That there was no free education. Well, because he's ignorant. I know he must be. Maybe it's not up to more than 40 or so. I'm 73. We actually enjoyed free education, and I want to educate him.
Please, sir.
Now, the free education we had was actually free education. We made them when Awolowo did that free education. At least I was in primary school from 1959 to 1963. So during that time, where there was no, like the one was saying, they take pews or they take some things to school. There was nothing like that. There was absolutely nothing like that. Everything was free, including books. Yes, even Jakonde was giving free books. The building he was referring to may not be the population of Lagos. You all know the population of Lagos. It's not only Yoruba in Lagos. But so you cannot, before Jakonde started that program, they used to have 2 or 3 shifts per day in a school.
I heard the story too. Yeah, they always have morning school, afternoon school, and evening class. So
that is true. So for you now to accommodate all of do a one shift school, you need so many classrooms.
More classrooms.
No, that is what they get. That's right. That was what brought about the shoddy building, the buildings that Jakonde did. Yeah, the makeshift.
They will say, yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Just by the way. So during the time of Awolowo, there were buildings, and where there were no buildings, because not only Yorubas, even people were coming from other regions into the Western region to enjoy the free education, including the Northerners and Igbos. It's on record. I had Igbos as classmates.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I had Hausas as classmates also. So now that is just by the way. Then the kind of college we enjoyed, you can never compare it. Even the British standard, they will struggle to attain it. During our own college, with 50 you had vouchers, meal vouchers, and each is just 50 pence. 50 pence meal vouchers, and that 50 pence, the food you will get in the cafeteria, you cannot even finish it. It is so, the kind of food they serve you in Unilag, in UI, even if before it became OAU, this kind of food you eat is the envy of even foreign countries. I am telling you the facts. So I want that young man to know this. Nigeria, that time every region had its own policies. The Western region was separate, North was separate, and East was separate. Even ABU, Ahmadu Bello University, Yusuka, all of them were competing. So it is, it was real education. To buttress my point, even a serving minister of education was so all his ambition was to become the VC of UI. The minister of education, yes. His ambition was to become the VC of UI. And when he couldn't get it, he regretted it till his death. That to show you how high the universities were then, it's like which minister will aspire to. Even the present day VCs, they will want to be a special advisor to minister, not the other way around. So that was how good the education was then. And then at that time, if you graduate from any American university, you come back to Nigeria, if you don't have a master's, you will be relegated, because the master's degree in America was equivalent to our own first degree in Nigeria. That is how high our standard. Yes, I am telling you the truth. If you attend any American university, you don't have your
master's from America before you can stand next to a first degree holder in Nigeria.
Exactly. That was how it was. Yes, that was how it was during our own time. Then I don't want to waste too much time on that. Let me go.
You have no idea about the part of history you're sharing with us right now. This is not about what we read. This is what you experience.
Oh yes.
You know you experience it, and it's interesting. You need to read the comment. A lot of people are just there doing wow, like ambulance.
Yes, it is true. That was how it was. And then concerning the issue of
I don't know if you do. I know this is not for you. Or maybe you can possibly just maybe give an answer. And if you don't have the answer, it's okay. How come people who enjoyed all of that are now those who wanted a country or running a country? There are people like us now, we are now like the victim of it. Like, how could people who enjoyed all of that suddenly could sustain it or reciprocate the same thing?
I will give you a simple answer.
Sir.
I got married. I will give you a simple answer. To be short, I got married in 1984.
Yeah,
my best man was working. Yes. My best man was working in the presidency. I won't mention the president was working with. So my best man introduced me to the presidency for contracts. Do you know what happened? We sat down. I had passed. I was going in and out of the. I don't want to name the presidential villa, so they don't know exactly which president I'm referring to. But I was moving in and out of the presidency, even including the VC's house, all of them in Lagos. Now, what happened? They sat me down. The first contract they wanted to give me, they told me that, if you do the, let me say a job of 20 million naira, they say, if you do this work, this is what we get. I said, I have no problem with that. But they said, if you don't do it at all, this is what you are going to give us. That is to say, if I don't do the job at all, and they raise a voucher for me, I will give them 15 million. 5 is mine. But if I decide to do, but if I do the job, they will take 10 million. Then I will now do the job. The calculated what I will need to do the job will be like 6 or 7 million. That means I will get 3 million. They take 7. They take 10. I use 7 to do the job, and I say I will do the job. That's what I did the job. I got my money, but that was the one and only job I got. The next time I called my friend, my own best man, they started dodging me. But I mean, what do we do next? I mean, I was running health task. That was how I was sidelined. That is when I now saw what was happening later, I knew that Nigeria has been finished long ago. All those roads you see everywhere, they highlight on TV that they look at this bad road, road to road and all this road is bad. All of them have been awarded, I can assure you on paper. The contractors have been paid. But some people, yes, the money is on people's pockets. That it has been happening long ago. It's not just happening. And even there is a state, which I don't want to mention, they have 3 accounts. One for the public, which they present to the public. Another one, which is the genuine one. They have 3. So once they get their budget, do you know that when they want to award all these contracts, they will sit down after they will. I mean, the Ministry of Work, they will scout. They will scout for all the budget for all the roads they want to do. They will submit them down. They will now sit down with the governor and the cabinet, and they will be choosing. Okay, you take this, you take that, you take that. The person that wants to do the job now has to buy. I was close to the person they gave it. Yes. Wow. Yes. I was on phone with on phone with one of those ministers. I was talking and was telling that he was talking to somebody, and that person said, "You want to do this? Why do you just say Why do you want to trouble yourself doing the job? Yes. Sell it off. Yes, sell it off. Why do you want to bother yourself doing the job? That is it. So that is Nigeria for you. It's been going on for a long time. So Nigeria is virtually wrecked. All those things they are saying that anytime I go back home and I see all those roads, I know what something has happened. This money has been spent. This money has been used to purchase properties abroad and all over the place. That is what is going on.
Thank you.
And so when I saw that, so how can I join that? I don't have the conscience to join that kind of a group. If I join, maybe I will be in the group of all those multi-billionaires they were talking about today. But I can't. I have a conscience.
And somebody like me will be praying to be like you, and I won't know that the money meant for my own future is what you are actually spending. I want to be like a billionaire.
That is it.
Life.
That is it.
Tell me, sir. Thank you so much. Our time is so.
Before I go, one more. Yes, that mind. Okay, sorry. Okay. Let me leave you. That's right.
I will let you say it. Thank you. We are already over 3 hours, so I'll just let you say it now that you've asked for it. Well,
okay.
A minute.
Look at them. All right. Look at that man you highlighted. That was that bought all those vehicles, tractors, and all those things distributing in Ogun State. Look at that guy, and everywhere now they were praising him. And I was replying people that you are out of your mind. If you know the secret behind this plan, he wants to be the next governor of Ogun State. He's not doing it for nothing. And all this is a man who ran away from Lagos State because he cannot become the governor of Lagos State, ran to Ogun State, became a senator by bribing his way through, and that is what he's just doing. The next time you will see him, they will say he's running for the governorship seat. It's simple.
Waiting to take over from Dapo right now, and I promise you, sir, I promise you, he's spent a lot. He's bought a lot of people, sir. They bought family house for him in Yewa. So right now, there are those who are already sort of foot soldiers. So he's waiting. But the question is this. We have seen what they have turned the Ogun youth into. God will not forgive all these people. I swear, sir, right? We have seen it.
Yes,
and we have seen what this judge is doing. Okay? And when he finally becomes their governor and is unable to actually change their lives, since he's already paid for all of this, these young people will come around and be praying to God to touch his heart. What would they say then? Because it is going to happen.
Exactly.
It will happen. So what would they say that? Okay, a person that has been spending all these billions, call it empowerment. None of this is really empowering anybody, because since Daniel days, they have been sharing Okada, sharing this, sharing that since Benga Daniel's days. Sir, it never helped people out of poverty.
Yes, Maiyegun, do you know that when I was in secondary school, brand new Toyota cars that were used as taxis in all over Western region, brand new, not Tokumbo. Brand new Toyota cars.
11 taxis.
Yes,
they were all brand new. Okay, this was this was in the early 80s, so I mean the late 70s, 79 till like around 1990.
That's right.
Was like,
yes.
They were calling him chairman. Then they call him Oga and all that. He had 11 brand new taxis that were operating in a cold
yes. That's right.
I can testify to that.
That's right. So when I now see people, I saw one man who we were schoolmates together. One day I went to Lagos, then around the Palm Avenue, I saw him on Okada, riding Okada. I had to park. That no, it can't be.
This is not.
Then I called his name. He was dusty all over. I looked and said, is it you? He said, it's me. I said, what happened? Because the last time I saw him, he was the marketing manager of a company.
Wow.
I said, what happened? How could you descend so low? He said, he said he cannot explain. It's a long story. I was nearly weeping. This is a man who was, very brilliant guy. I know him very well. I was just shaking my head. No, this cannot. I told him that, please. I gave him my card. Go to go to this place, go to this place. They should be able to help you. And he did. He was thanking me. All because, let me just give you because of other people.
Nigeria has a way of taking everything away from us. But a lot of people do not know that Nigeria is programmed to take everything away from them. So they do blame evil people, evil deeds, evil spirit, and all of that. And we can't let this young generation also grow old and believe that some evil spirit is making them poorer, or some evil spirit is making them giving them bad luck. They need to understand how the system is rigged against them. Early enough.
Yes.
Abiko, Baba?
Yes, exactly. You are right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Say hi to Agbepe.
I will.
And my young man and the sister.
Akin,
that's right, yes.
I will, sir.
That's right, yes.
Thank you so much, okay? We love the time you shared with us tonight, it's worth it.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one, okay? That's where we're going to draw the curtains tonight. We've managed to overshot our time, but I did I fulfilled my promise. I said we will take calls and we will have it under a very convenient conversationary atmosphere. So thanks to every one of you, as usual now, spending your evening with me tonight. So tomorrow, you will meet with me here in the afternoon. And to my friends in America, just get used to it now because it's like, and Canada too, get used to it. You don't really have to call. You can put it on and make me your... Okay, I'm going to see if that works anyway, okay? Like make that your money, sort of a money tea while you are getting ready to work. Whether you are driving to work or you are taking the bus or you're taking the train. You can have it at the background where you can plug in that your headset and listen to Maiyegun. It's always going to be afternoon here when that kicks off, okay? And I am also considering, starting our program earlier now that we have, we do have our own studio. Remember why we always have the MaiyegunsDiary Politico from 8 p.m.? It was because I always had that at home. Now we have a studio. I know a lot of you are so used to it. We might need to kind of bring it forward a bit. and begin to do our program from maybe 7 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. Think about it. I'm not saying right now, okay? But I am considering it, and I'm saying it to you ahead of time. Thanks so much for your time this evening. And those who are still here, please remember, you can still like the broadcast before you go if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel too. I will see you again. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun Diary Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹ̀rùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.